Airframe Prepware Flight Controls. Improper rigging of the elevator trim tab system will affect the balance of the airplane about its lateral axis. The acute angle formed by the chord line of a wing and the relative wind is known as the angle of attack. When inspecting a control cable turnbuckle for proper installation, determine that the safety wire ends are wrapped a minimum of 4 turns around the terminal end shanks. Refer to Figure 8. Identify the cable that is used in primary control systems and in other places where operation over pulleys is frequent. Three. As the angle of attack of an airfoil increases, the center of pressure will move toward the leading edge. How are changes in direction of a control cable accomplished? Pulleys. If the travel of an airplane's controls is correct but the cables are rigged exceptionally tight, what probable effect will this have when flying the airplane? The airplane will be heavy on the controls. The cable-operated control system of an all-metal aircraft, not incorporating a temperature-compensating device, has been rigged to the correct tension in a heated hangar. If the aircraft is operated in very cold weather, the cable tension will decrease when the aircraft structure and cables become cold. What is the smallest size cable that may be used in aircraft primary control systems? 1/8 of an inch. A tension regulator in the flight control cable system of a large all-metal aircraft is used primarily to retain a set tension. What physical factors are involved in the aspect ratio of airplane wings? Span and chord. The angle of incidence of an airplane at rest does not change when in flight. The vast majority of aircraft control cables are terminated with swage terminals that must be checked with a go-no-go gauge before and after to show compliance with the manufacturer's requirements after the swaging operation. Stability about the axis, which runs parallel to the line of flight, is referred to as lateral stability. The elevators of a conventional airplane are used to provide rotation about the lateral axis. Where does the breakage of control cable wires occur most frequently? Breakage usually occurs where cables pass over pulleys and through fair leads. Differential control on an aileron system means that the up travel is more than the down travel. If all instructions issued by the swaging tool manufacturer are followed when swaging a cable terminal, the resultant swage terminal strength should be the full rated strength of the cable. During inspection of the flight control system of an airplane equipped with differential type aileron control, side-to-side movement of the control stick will cause each aileron to have a greater up travel from the streamlined position than down travel. After repairing or recovering a rudder, the surface should be rebalanced to manufacturer's specifications. If the control stick of an aircraft with properly rigged flight controls is moved forward and to the right, the left aileron will move down and the elevator will move down. Buffeting is the intermittent application of forces to a part of the airplane. It is caused by an unsteady flow from turbulence. With which system is differential control associated? Aileron. Movement of an airplane along its lateral axis, roll, is also movement around or about the longitudinal axis controlled by the ailerons. The correct dihedral angle can be determined by using a dihedral board and bubble level along the front spar of each wing. Fair leads should never deflect the alignment of a cable more than 3 degrees. The purpose of wing slats is to reduce stalling speed. The angle of incidence is that acute angle formed by a line parallel to the wing chord and a line parallel to the longitudinal axis of the aircraft. An airplane that has a tendency to gradually increase a pitching moment that has been set into motion has poor longitudinal stability. Movement of the flight deck control toward the nose-down position during a ground operational check of the elevator trim tab system will cause the trailing edge of the trim tab to move in which direction? Upward, regardless of elevator position. Where is fuselage station number 137 located? 137 inches aft of the zero or fixed reference line. The universal propeller protractor can be used to measure degrees of flap travel. An airplane which has good longitudinal stability should have a minimum tendency to pitch. Rigging and alignment checks should not be undertaken in the open. However, if this cannot be avoided, the aircraft should be positioned with the nose into the wind. The purpose of spring tabs or servo tabs is to assist the pilot in moving the control surfaces. Placing a piece of cloth around a stainless steel control cable and running it back and forth over the length of the cable is generally a satisfactory method of inspecting for broken strands. The purpose of the vertical fin is to provide directional stability. Where is the buttock line or butt line of an aircraft? A width measurement left or right of and parallel to the vertical center line. The chord of a wing is measured from leading edge to trailing edge. The primary purpose of stall strips is to stall the inboard portion of the wings first. A universal propeller protractor used to measure the degrees of aileron travel should be zeroed with the aileron in the neutral position. Very often, repairs to a control surface require static rebalancing of the control surface. Generally, flight control balance condition may be determined by the behavior of the trailing edge when the surface is suspended from its hinge points. Refer to Figure 9. When the outside air temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, select the acceptable 3/16 cable tension range. £117 minimum and 143 pounds maximum. Which statement concerning the 100-hour inspection of an airplane equipped with the push-pull tube-type control system is true? The threaded rod ends should be checked for the amount of thread engagement by means of the inspection hole provided. When the lift of an airfoil increases, the drag will also increase. Proper wing twist in a sheet metal constructed wing can usually be checked by utilizing a bubble level and special fixtures described by the manufacturer. Where would you find precious information to perform a symmetry alignment check for a particular aircraft? Aircraft Service or Maintenance Manual. If control cables are adjusted properly and the control surfaces tend to vibrate, the probable cause is worn attachment fittings. What non-destructive checking method is normally used to ensure that the correct amount of swaging has taken place when installing swage-type terminals on aircraft control cable? Use a terminal gauge to check the diameter of the swaged portion of the terminal. If a pilot reports that an airplane flies left wing heavy, this condition may be corrected by increasing the angle of incidence of the left wing or decreasing the angle of incidence of the right wing, or both. If the right wing of a monoplane is improperly rigged to a greater angle of incidence than designated in the manufacturer's specifications, it will cause the airplane to be off balance both laterally and directionally. Aircraft flight control trim systems must be designed and installed so that the pilot can determine the relative position of the trim tab from the cockpit. Washing in the left wing of a monoplane for purposes of rigging corrections after flight test will have what effect on the lift and drag of that wing? Both drag and lift will increase due to increased angle of attack. The dihedral angle of a wing may be measured by placing a straight edge and level protractor on the front spar. Excessive wear on both sides of a control cable pulley groove is evidence of pulley misalignment. If the control stick of an aircraft with properly rigged flight controls is moved rearward and to the left, the right aileron will move down and the elevator will move up. An airplane's center of lift is usually located aft of its center of gravity, so that the airplane will have a nose-heavy tendency. What type of flap system increases the wing area and changes the wing camber? Fowler flaps. Dutch roll, a combination yawing and rolling oscillation that affects many swept-wing aircraft, is counteracted with a yaw damper system. If the vertical fin of a single-engine, propeller-driven airplane is rigged properly, it will generally be parallel to the vertical axis but not the longitudinal axis. An airplane is controlled directionally about its vertical axis by the rudder.